Hello, it is December 30th, 7:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and this is a tarot card reading for Cornetteface, a Reddit user. We'll be using the Rider-Waite deck, which is the standard tarot card deck most people associate with the tarot, and we will also be using the horseshoe spread. This spread is really interesting because usually you, the court, would ask your question and I would select a card to represent you in the spread, or some spreads don't represent you at all. But this actually generates a card to represent you. And what this does is it really gives us insight as to where you actually are, whether you realize it or not, or whether you're comfortable with being honest about it or not in regards to the situation. It's a great insight into you and your attitudes. So let us begin. The first card we pull in the spread represents your past, and here we have the Queen of Wands. What I'm seeing here is that you are a very confident and charming person. You really draw people in, and it looks like that may have been the way your relationship with Dawn began. I also see that this card also indicates that you love being the center of attention, which obviously may have caused some of the conflict you had with Dawn that led to the end of the relationship or the loss of the friendship. The second card we have in this spread represents the you in the present in regards to your relationship with Dawn. And here we have the Hanged Man. And what this card tells me is that you are at a pause in the journey with Dawn. The journey with Dawn is not over. That does not mean you'll become friends, you'll regenerate the friendship. If you do so, it doesn't mean it'll be the same as it once was. It just means that the situation may still have meaning to you. It may be worth mentally exploring whether you choose to regenerate the friendship or not. There's some growth you can have here. And what I see also is the fact that there's some wisdom, some knowledge about the situation that you aren't aware of, but that will be open to you. So continue to meditate and think on the situation. I see it's important in your life. It can help you grow as a person, and you don't know all the facts yet. So continue to think things out and do what you need to do to learn more about the relationship in general, maybe your part in it, the fact that you need so much attention, and why things fell apart before drawing your conclusions. And this is very interesting because the next card in the spread represents hidden influences. And here we have the Six of Wands. So I really think the hidden influences could be part of what we see here, this knowledge you don't have, indicated by the Hanged Man. So what the Six of Wands is showing me is that there was a victory over conflict. So what I'm seeing here is, whether you know it or not, you came out on top in the conflict. So whether you won the fight or not with Dawn, or the conflict that ended the relationship, maybe you feel you didn't, but you did. Maybe Dawn feels you did, and that's influencing the situation. Maybe she doesn't want to approach you after feeling like you won whatever conflict there was. Or maybe what the deck is trying to tell us is that where you are now with Dawn, the non-active relationship is where you should be. That you came over the conflict of the relationship with Dawn, and in reality you shouldn't restart it. So we're seeing a few options here, and again, I would really emphasize just meditating on the relationship. Learning more, whether that's through yourself or through others, about the relationship. Because there's more here for your personal healing and personal growth. Again, the next card we drew represents you, and here we have the Knight of Pentacles. So this card again represents you in the situation and your attitudes about it. And what I'm seeing here is that it does look like you were the victorious one in this conflict. And it looks like you should be sharing that victory, that good fortune, with others. And what this is telling me is that, as I had questions here, you really did overcome the conflict you had with Dawn. You were considered the winner either by her or by you, or perhaps by both. But it's really just time to share with her. We see sharing good fortune here. It's time to open up again and to share that quote-unquote victory with her. It's time to move past the negativity. So this card is showing me that you may want to consider rekindling a relationship with this person. The next card we have is the Ten of Wands, and this represents what other people think. So far in the spread, we've seen that maybe some of your need for attention has led to issues and conflict in the relationship. Despite you being right in the most recent conflict, it hasn't exactly helped. We also see that it's a great thing that you're asking more questions about this relationship because there were issues with it. And there's knowledge you don't know that you can gather. But I see here with the Ten of Wands that the people in your life are a little more wary. They don't want you to bite off more than you can chew and take on more than you can handle with this situation. So while the cards are showing us that you should definitely consider rekindling a relationship with Dawn, as seen with this card, your friends are just wary. They want to make sure you're not draining yourself. So make sure you stay grounded throughout the process. The next card we have is the deck's advice for you in this situation. And here we have the Five of Swords. Excuse me, the Four of Swords. It's very early for me. So we see here that the concern about draining yourself is true. This card represents the fact that you'll burn yourself out if you don't rejuvenate. So while it's worthwhile to rekindle this relationship with Dawn, make sure you're taking care of yourself as well. Make sure you're taking time to ground, to freshen. If things are becoming too intense, just take it slow. There's no need to rush into the situation. The last card in the spread is the outcome. So if all of these cards are the chapters of a novel, this is the last chapter, the conclusion, and tells us what's going to happen in the situation. Here we have Judgment. And what this card tells me is there will be a new phase in your life. If you are able to deal with the self-centeredness, if you're able to open up and get over the victory of the last conflict, and you're really just open up to Dawn and positive with her, I do see that you'll be able to enter a new phase of their relationship. Totally new, just a fresh start. Just remember to keep yourself grounded while you do so. Some further notes. We had two major arcana, which really show the influence of another person in the situation. And we also had 3 wands. And what that shows us is the emphasis that you'll need on intuition, turning in to really look at the situation, to find that hidden wisdom in the situation. So thank you again for letting me read for you, and have a great 2015.